Konnichiwa, and welcome to the Samurai Way, the podcast where we dive into the wisdom of the samurai, the art of Japanese living, and the philosophies that help us live with purpose and perseverance. I'm Lori Sagawa, and whether you're here to explore Bushido, uncover the meaning of Ikigai, or just looking for a little extra gambaru, never give up spirit in your daily life, you're in the right place. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's walk this path together. Are you ready? Let's begin. Konnichiwa, minasan. This is Lori, and today I have a very special treat for you. I just returned from Japan, my happy place. I love going to Japan and visiting and tasting the food and everything, but sometimes there's no place like home. You probably would all agree with that. So today I'm going to present about Taste and Tranquility, Japan in autumn. And in the Japanese culture, the seasons are very, very important. It's called shun, S-H-U-N, seasonality. And in Japan, the time of autumn is especially a great time to be there because the things are changing, the rice has been harvested, and they now enjoy the fall foods such as chestnuts, persimmon, mushroom. And speaking of mushrooms, our family used to hunt matsutake mushrooms and come home with basketful of the wonderful mushrooms. I did not appreciate it then, but I sure appreciate it now. And everything is so seasonal in Japan. Even their accoutrements, their dishes, you wouldn't use a pink dish in the fall because pink is for spring, and fall is like the fall colors. Food in autumn is very special in Japan because they use harvested ingredients in chestnuts, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, persimmon, matsutake, which I just shared about, and fatty fish is mackerel. And they emphasize seasonal, delicious, natural flavors, and they cherish each season. So people celebrate Koyo, which is autumn leaves, and enjoying the vibrant reds, as you'll see in the collage that I have, or you can see it online or on YouTube, you can see it. We're going to talk about how the fall colors are very important. They have very seasonal celebrations. They celebrate the moon. They have temple lightings for their fall colors, and it's just a wonderful time to be in Japan. So they celebrate the autumn leaves, and they're enjoying vibrant reds and the golds, and you can see the gold ginkgo tree, and I have never seen a ginkgo tree as large as that one. It's probably hundreds of years old, and the reds are so beautiful. The maple leaves, most of the maple leaves have fallen by the time we got there, but there were other ones that were just beautiful. It's just a wonderful time to be in Japan. And especially even their clothing would be autumn. It would be more celebrating the season. It wouldn't be the spring or summer. They change everything seasonally. And if you look at Marie Kondo, she talks about that, and she's the tidying guru. So for a traditional Japanese breakfast, they have many items that are for breakfast, but they also have pretty much the traditional way is to have the same meal almost every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like my father would eat rice with every meal. I don't eat that way, but traditionally in Japanese setting, they would have rice with every meal, pickles and fish, miso, and different side dishes that they have. Konnichiwa, this is Lori from Japan. We're in Okayama, Japan, because we're leaving out of the Okayama airport. So I thought I'd tell you about some of the food. So over here we have miso and different things like fried tofu is in there. And that looks like eggplant. And then the seaweed, of course. Here's the omelet. And here we have a salad with dried radish, fried tofu again, and carrots. hardly wait to eat this. And here's one of my very favorite foods. This is okara, which is the top of the tofu. When they make it, they used to throw it away, but then they found different uses for it, like making it into a salad. We have saba or mackerel. That used to be my dad's favorite. And here is oden, one of my favorite foods in Japan. We have chikura, which is fish cake, and tofu, daikon, radish, and an egg. So that is about it. And of course, dessert. This was our favorite. You don't find this very often in the States. It's the bean paste, and the inside is mochi. So it's really, really good. I can't wait to eat it. Can't wait for you to come here to Japan. Put it on your bucket list. It's a place to come, especially next year. It'll be the last year that's good for foreigners. So think about it. Think about coming to Japan. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Mata ne. And I would love to share with you about oden. It's one of my very favorite food in Japan. And they only serve it in the fall. And we happened to be there in the fall, so I kept looking for it. And I found it in a restaurant, in one of the breakfast meals we would have in Japan. But it's even at the 7-Eleven. Can you imagine going to 7-Eleven and getting oden? It is so good. It consists of rice cake, tofu, fried tofu, egg. It could have kombu in there. There would be fried the chikara, which is a fish cake, and daikon, which is radish. And there's so many different things. Different regions do different vegetables and gobo sometimes, but it is so delicious. It's like a soup, but a very healthy, low-calorie food that I enjoy so much. And anytime I could have it at a restaurant, I would eat it. So that is about oden, and I hope you get to try it sometime. Now, on your left side is a traditional Japanese meal, and this happened to be at a restaurant. Would you believe is a little over $10 for that whole meal? It was wonderful. And you can see the rice and the miso, and above it, in a little kind of purplish red, are pickles. And the fish is hokke, which is like a mackerel, but it was better because the bones came out so much easier. And then we have your dessert, which would be little sections of orange. Next to it is hijiki. It has beans in it and is cooked. And they serve tofu. It's been dried, and then they reconstitute it and serve it. And over to the right of that is Japanese version of potato salad. Potato. It's very good. It's very delicious, and it's just a traditional meal that I wanted to show you. However, kaiseki meal is on the right. When I say kaiseki, that is a special set meal, and Kyoto is known for that. It's very, very expensive. We were guests of my cousins, so I have no idea how much it costs, but I'm sure it costs plenty. So I'll go over everything with you. With the top right corner is that freeze-dried tofu, and that is really delicious. I think that Kyoto kind of specializes in that, and they like to serve it. And over to the right is tempura. And tempura was not a Japanese food. It was introduced by the Portuguese because prior to that, they did not fry their foods. Everything was kind of, they might have pan fried it, but they didn't deep fat fry it. And under that, we'll go around the corner is salmon, and a small is called dengaku tofu. It is very good, delicious, and up on top is something that's a little sweet, and it's made out of miso paste. Right hand corner is the sashimi. No, I'm sorry. The right hand corner are more vegetables. Pardon me. In the middle, there's a dish with the egg, and then it looks like sweet potato. And over to the left is chicken. It was really delicious. And up above it, of course, is sashimi. Sashimi is, I give it to my husband. I like sashimi, but there was so much food, I couldn't eat everything. In fact, I gave my shrimp away. There was just a lot of food, so I let other people that liked it and were able to enjoy it, eat it, like my husband can eat more than I can. So that is just, I wanted to show you the difference between, or show and tell you the difference between a kaiseki meal and a regular meal. But even the regular meal that you get at, this is going to be hard to believe, but even at 7-Eleven, you can get a decent meal for like $6, and it's pretty good because Japanese have such high standards about their food, and they make it with love, and you can tell they take such pride in the way that they present it, the way that they handle their food, the way they serve it. It's like an art. It's really wonderful to see and experience. Even at the fast food places, the service was so good. I just loved it. So I told you about the traditional food for breakfast, and it would go carry on traditionally. It would carry on throughout the day. And today they've introduced more fast foods into their culture, but it's basically miso, which helps with digestion because of the fermentation of the beans, the soybeans. Fish, of course, fish is very important in Japan. They love all kinds of fish. Natto, which I'll be talking about shortly, and pickled vegetables and vegetable salads, and maybe a little fruit for dessert. So these meals in Japan, just to give you an idea, are pretty much the same all through the day. And I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know if they get tired of it, but I know my father never got tired of rice every meal, even with spaghetti. So that is our food in Japan, and enjoying it seasonally. You will see different, though, like I shared with you about oden is a very seasonal meal. And these are pretty seasonal because at a kaiseki restaurant, they wouldn't serve spring food because it's just too, they're so proper and they're so exact about what they do and everything that they prepare. There's a science and art and love behind everything. I wanted to show you how inexpensive natto is in Japan. In Japan, natto is readily available, and it comes in packages of 3, so each one is an individual little package, individual serving. And it is so reasonable. That 78 yen is about not even about 60 cents. So 3 of those, they would be about 20 cents each. And if you bought it in the States on sale, you might get it for $3. So I'm going to learn how to make natto because it's so good for you. And at one time, I just could not get over it. I couldn't get over that sticky, that stringy texture to it. I just didn't like it until one person says, well, you put mustard and that special sauce in it, and it has vinegar and soy sauce. And once I did that, and then you stir it, you eat it with rice, and then it's very palatable. In fact, I can eat natto now just plain, and I did buy some containers. And I wanted to show you on the next slide about my experience with natto. Years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that, to be able to eat natto. So this was at a restaurant. This was in Morioka. We were there for about the middle of our, towards the end of our trip. And what it is, if it's prepared properly, natto is very stringy. You would eat it, and it's almost like a web, or it's really stringy and has just a totally different texture. Most people, you have to acquire a taste for it. And I certainly did because I didn't like it until way into my adults. Of course, our family didn't eat that, but there's so many health benefits. And I'd like to tell you how many it is. I was eating natto. I didn't realize all the benefits, but I knew it was healthy. I was eating natto just plain, just like without rice. And as long as there's little packages of this special hot mustard and vinegar, and I was able to eat it just like a little snack, a little pick me up. So it's rich in potassium and vitamins. It provides a complete plant-based protein, which is very important because Beans by itself can be good, but beans combined with something else makes it a complete protein. So that's what, especially if you are doing a plant-based diet. Rich in vitamin K, too, and important for bone health and also for heart health. Also, it's for your digestive because it's been fermented. Um, it produces probiotics, which supports gut health, and also for cardio support. Contains nattokinase, an enzyme shown to help people break down blood clots and improve circulation. And also want to mention that it's good for the bone health, and women particularly have problems with with bone density more so than men, and reducing the risk of osteoporosis. It also helps your immune system. Probiotics and antioxidants may contribute to overall immune system health. And as we age, I don't know about you, but you hear of so many people with all these problems. I think natto might be something to explore, and I'm gonna learn how to make it because I certainly don't want to spend $1 per package when I can make it for so much less, and it'd probably be better for you. The taste, as I mentioned, usually has to be acquired, and I never liked it until I was way into my adults. But the nutritional value of natto is something to think about, that it could outweigh perhaps your distaste for it, because there's so many health benefits that go along with it. And as we age, we want to make sure that our health is strong so that we continue to with our lives and do what we're called to do or what our passion is. And if you can do it and be healthy, that's even better. We're now going to explore Korakuen Garden, which is in Okayama, Japan. And it was built in 1700 by Ikeda Tsunemasa, the second feudal lord of Okayama, the daimyo. It was his private strolling garden for relaxation, entertaining guests, and cultural pursuits, such as poetry and tea ceremonies. And it was designed during the Edo period and features open lawns, tea ceremony houses, streams, and gardens. It's absolutely stunning. Can you imagine this? Over 32 acres? That this would be your private strolling garden. And just think about the maintenance. Most people don't have 32 acres. And if you did and you had that manicured, it would take quite a crew to keep it looking pristine. And what it is now is a place to be enjoyed by all, and is very well maintained. So you can imagine the upkeep that goes into this. And right next to the gardens is a castle. So you would see from the castle, you could have vantage of the garden, which is really beautiful. And now people enjoy it and the beauty, and despite suffering damage, it's still, from floods, it maintains its beauty. It's been restored and remains one of Japan's 3 gardens that are celebrated, and Korakuen happens to be one of them. And it's known for its seasonal beauty, the cherry blossoms in the spring, and the irises in the summer, and vibrant foliage in the fall, and then perhaps maybe even snow during the wintertime. And it offers a very calm, serene classical garden. And people enjoy strolling around the garden, walking the many paths, and just enjoying the beauty of the nature of the garden. And when we were there, you can see over on the right side a bride and groom. Well, there were photo ops for their wedding, and they were gracious enough to let us take a few photos. And I thought they looked beautiful. I've never been able to take photographs that closely, and they just were very happy and gracious and let us say, "Oh, come on, it's fine." And we were very fortunate to be able to take those pictures. So I wanted to share them with you, and it'll be in our cultural newsletter coming up. They look stunning, I thought. And a person, usually in Japan, I believe that weddings are a Shinto occasion, because Shinto is about life and Buddhism is about death, more about the end of life. So that I found that very interesting, and I love the way the groom is dressed. I think what it's beautiful, and probably I'm gonna guess the little crest on each shoulder is of their family crest, and that is something that they would probably have had made or had it uh, handed down from generation to generation, because that style doesn't change. They've had that hakata and the haori, or the kimono, not kimono, but it is a haori, and they would have that. And so probably it was handed down, and perhaps even the woman's gown was, or it could have been rented. They do a lot of that in Japan. When we were there, we enjoyed so many things, and I'm so excited to share with you about it because I have been to Japan for, gosh, over 40 years. We've been going to Japan, and more lately, we've been going quite a bit because my husband's retired and we can go now. Um, we can enjoy the different places of Japan, and we've never been to Okayama. And so our plane was, my husband specifically wanted to leave from a small airport. So we did that. And I said, oh, well, if we're going to be in Okayama, we have to go to the garden because I've wanted to see that garden ever since I've been to Japan. Very close to it, but never been there. And right beside it is a little girl that they didn't really want us to do the photo op or take a picture of her. So I just took one, and she looks very sweet and very pensive, looking off into the beautiful garden or whatever. And she just looked so so lovely. I enjoyed that, and there were people there, and other people said, "No, don't take photos." So we just, we respected them. But this one couple was so gracious, and they were happy to share their excitement and their joy with us. And so, in the garden, there are so many small tea houses, buildings, uh, gardens. Everything is very unique and very, according to the site and where it is it kind of lends itself to the area, whether it be high or low or near the water. It's always very appropriate. And up in the top left is a beautiful ginkgo tree. I've never seen a ginkgo tree that large. And if you see the people next to it, they look like little specks, and it looks almost like one of our fir trees here in the Northwest. And over to in the middle is a beautiful garden. I love Japanese gardens. They're so beautiful, and we were very blessed to see it. And would you believe the entrance to that garden was like $5? The entrance fees in Japan are amazing. And but I think in 27 things are going to change a little bit. But why not go now? Why not go in the year 26? Make that your year if it's on your bucket list. Try to go there, because in 27 it's going to be Japan first. They're not going to be so willing to share their country with other people, especially those that don't respect the rules and respect their culture and etiquette. We just when you're in Japan, you do as the Japanese do, and you don't talk loud, you don't litter. That's just a no-no. You do what they would do. You bring little hankies with you so you don't have to use a paper towel, and everything is individuality, and the responsibility of the individual is very important. And you'll see that and experience that. But it's very nice wherever you go, you rarely see garbage, you rarely see graffiti. It's just a country of, I don't know of many places in the world that are like this. So I'm enjoying Japan now. I'm so glad I've had the opportunity to go multiple times. And would you believe I'm looking forward to the next trip, returning. The two trees I was speaking about was the beautiful ginkgo tree, which it's huge. The trunk looks like it looks to me like it's over 100 years old, maybe even 200 years old, but it's beautiful and happened to be in its during the peak. You can see some of the leaves starting to fall, but you can still see that the leaves are still it's not in bloom. It's still the fall foliage is still there. And I have some photograph. I have a photograph of photographers taking that picture of that tree. And over to the right, we have a red, the beautiful foliage. As Japan is known for its fall colors, and I just wanted to show you. And if someday maybe you can go to Japan during the fall, it's a really nice time to go because it's not too hot and it's not as crowded as like the spring. The spring is very, very crowded. So I would just highly recommend that. And the Korakuen Garden was built in 1700s, but then in 1884 it was given back to the city of Okayama. So the city is now publicly taking care of it, and it's open to the public for everyone to see and enjoy, and it's been carefully restored and maintained. It's known for its seasonal beauty, and as I mentioned, the spring you have the iris, cherry blossom. In the summer you have more the iris, and in the fall you have the autumn leaves. And it offers such a variety of seasonal changes. And it's beautiful any time of the year that you go. And no matter when you go to Japan, it seems like there's always something. We were able to see a temple lighting, which had a light show that was in Kyoto. And no matter where we go or what we do, it's like surprises around every corner. And it's a wonderful place to visit. Highly recommend if you have any inkling of going, I highly recommend you put it on your bucket list. And actually, I have a complimentary free ebook on my website that you can download and take part, learn from the knowledge that we put together. So that is it from the food being seasonal. And I shared with you about natto and the seasonal and the daily meal that a traditional Japanese person would eat. They're pretty much the same. And next we have in that Korakuen Garden, they also had tea fields as well as rice paddies. So they were able to enjoy fresh food, fresh tea, and fresh rice from their own gardens. This is a tea field, and also we have the wisteria in the background, and the tea house has the thatched roof that you're probably familiar with the straw, and it's very thick. And when you see a thatched roof from Japan, you usually would think of Japan. I love koi fish. In fact, my book, Let the Samurai Be Your Guide, on the front of it are two koi fish. So I thought this was significant. And it's so beautiful to watch the fish swim in the garden or swim in the pond. And the water was so clean. It was just a delight just to sit there, and the tranquility and the peacefulness of fish just swimming around in the pond. And it's wonderful. They are so beautiful. They're so large. I don't know how old they are, but they are quite large. And I just wanted to show you and tell you how peaceful and tranquil it is just to sit there and watch the fish, thinking about what are they thinking about, what are they doing. And I didn't see much interaction between them. They just kind of went on their own way, swimming and having a great time, I guess. And lastly, I wanted to show you that continue on the theme of eating. Actually, they do matcha all year round. And when I was there in the spring, I ate a lot of matcha ice cream because it was so warm towards the latter spring, almost summer. But I just couldn't help it. I said, I've got to have an ice cream cone. So that's me holding my ice cream with my husband's ice cream while he took the photograph. And matcha ice cream is really good. And I started really appreciating matcha after I went to Uji, the tea capital of Japan, green tea capital of Japan, and how it's been harvested and the care that they take. They only take the first 5 leaves, and the rest of it goes to be composted. They will not take the second batch because they don't want to have a second, the second grade of Uji matcha tea. So only the finest goes into the matcha tea. So I want to thank you all for joining us, and I hope we've given you a glimpse of what it's like in Japan. We went in November, and no matter what time of year you go, it's always great. We went one time in the winter, and it was a little too cold for me, but it's also a very nice time because there were fewer people. Kyoto happened to be one of the second largest train station in Japan. And Japan's a highly populated country. If you think about it, 33 million in Tokyo has 33 million people, and Kyoto maybe has 1.5 million. But during the popular seasons, the train stations are very, very crowded. Probably 50 tracks. And some of the stations we went to only had like two or three. And so, what a difference it makes to have that many tracks, and the amount of people and the hustle bustle and trying to figure out where you're going and where you need to go next. It's kind of like being at an airport. But Japanese people are very kind. You always go to the JR people and they will help you out. So I hope you've enjoyed this time of peace and prosperity and actually tranquility, and the seasons of Japan, especially autumn. I would just return, and I wanted to share this with you because no matter when you go, it's a great time to go. It's a great time to be in Japan whenever you go. And I hope that I've encouraged you to think about going to Japan, put it on your bucket list, and you never know. My grandson always wanted to go with us to Japan. He kept saying, "Grandma, I just want to go with you and Grandpa to Japan." And he kept saying that. I said, "Well, can't you think about it and pray about it and see what happens?" And last winter we did it during their winter break. So you never know. We use our miles from our credit cards a lot. About half our trips have been with that. It's a great way to go, and love the hospitality and love the food, and you will just have the time of your life and just appreciate another way of living. It may not be according to your living, but it's great to experience other cultures, other people, and meet other people. They love to speak to foreigners. Most people do. And they especially appreciate it if you can speak a little Japanese. And they told me I had great Japanese. I go, "Oh, no, 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 I don't have great Japanese. I just have a good ear and I can pretty much use the diction that they use." And so it sounds like I know a lot, but it's very elementary. I am learning more, but as you age, it's harder to learn a language. So encourage your kids to learn it when they're young. Learn it in school. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of those years because it's so much easier to learn a language when you're young than when you're older. So from me to you, I want to thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share this with other people. It helps the Samurai Way podcast to grow. And if you don't know this, we have almost 100,000 downloads, and that'll be in less than a year. So we're going to be celebrating that probably after the first of the year. We're so happy and proud and thankful to all of you for listening, subscribing, watching, sharing, and who knows, just the Samurai Way of courage and honor, integrity, all of those values. I believe our world could use that now. And it would be a much happier and more peaceful life if we did actually live more like the samurai. And so that's my mission, is to share with you about the way that they lived and how it can help you in your business to live a happy, successful life. So that's it for now. I want to thank you and say goodbye. Mata ne, and see you next week. And that's a wrap for today's episode, The Samurai Way. I hope you found a little inspiration, a new perspective, or just something to reflect upon as you go about your day. Now remember, the samurai spirit isn't just about history. It's about how you show up, face challenges, and live with purpose. Whether it's Ikigai guiding your path or a little extra Ganbaru pushing you forward, keep walking strong. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share, or leave a review. It really helps. And if you've got some thoughts, questions, or you just want to connect, just contact me. So until next time, stay focused, stay determined, and keep living with purpose. Mata ne.